Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your there's got to be a awesome master of the martial arts. Yes, we'll go with that. Today it is Shaolin Saturday, and we are going to be talking about Heroes 2 from 1974. Probably one of the biggest box office hits that Cheh ever had. It made HK 1.363 million HK dollars, whatever that happens to be. HK dollar, yes. So it's a lot of money. It was huge. It was released on on January 19th. I promise I did practice this. It is the story of Hung Si Quan and Fang Shiyu, as you saw in our last week's episode about men from the monastery. There's some overlap here and some differences. And it's interesting because there are pictures here that say that both movies were shot, if not at the same time, very similarly. Because there's some pole fighting stuff in here about Fang Shiyu that you'll see it matches almost exactly from Men from the Monastery. This was released earlier. It runs about 93 minutes, and it's got Chang Cheh's signature going to red or a different color whenever there's blood on the screen. It's very effective, I think, but some people don't like it. They want to see the gore and stuff, I guess. I don't know why people would do that. But let's get into this right now. Here's the poster for it, or one of them, and the title card. These images do come from the Blu-ray that was released by Dragon Dynasty several years ago. It's great. I highly recommend it. It's got wonderful commentary by the late Lynn Haynes. Haynes? Is that his name? That would have been something I should have rehearsed a little further. Lynn Haynes. I was correct. And then an interview with Chen Quan Tai, who's still around. And as we'll see, the three styles of Hung Gar, or the three fists of Hung Gar. Three styles of hung fist. Hung Gar, hung fist. Take your pick. Which we'll hear a little bit of right now.
The monastery of Shaolin, located in South China, had at one time achieved a great reputation as the cradle of the nation's top kung fu experts. It was also noted as being the area's center of resistance to the Qing government of the Manchus.
Now, the three styles of hung fist is 9 minutes long. We'll probably not get through all of that, which is okay. It worked to get us through the credits there. So we're starting with the burning of the Shaolin Monastery. Now, this allegedly happened, that it was destroyed by the Qing government sometime either between 1647 or 1732 CE, by the Shenzhi Emperor or the Yongzheng Emperor or the Kangxi Emperor. It's probably not true. Most scholars agree that it's not really a story. It's how Kung Fu was spread. It's how it's told in the movies, but it's probably apocryphal. And it's very common in popular folklore, really, and that's where they think that it's more scholarly attention, is what it says, and it's more concerned with their role in folklore, which is fun. I mean, as someone who studied Choi Li Fut, which came from Shaolin, from one of the teachers of that of Chen Hung, that it was so it is, the lineage is there, but Hung Gar, Wing Chun, and Choi Li Fut are the big three, as we've stated before. This is all Hung Gar except for the Tibetan styles, which, of course, as we saw, that it was Tong Chia and Lau Kar Lung who did the martial arts fighting, which it means that it's really great and very as authentic as any movie fighting is going to be. So the story starts out again with Hung Si Quan, played by Chen Quan Tai, who we didn't talk too much about. Everyone knows about Alexander Fusheng because he died early on, very young age, sadly. Chen Quan Tai is still alive. He's approximately 79 years old, born on the 24th of September, 1945. He studied. I did look this up. Uh, he was a pupil of Chen Chang, founder of the Tai Sing Pekwar Martial Arts Association, which specializes in monkey style kung fu. He did a 1977 version of the Iron Monkey, which is, I thought it was okay. It's not my favorite, but it's not a bad version at all. But he won. He was an incredible athlete and he's a great martial artist. He did not change his name when he became a movie star. This is the movie that propelled him to, well, really propelled him and Fusheng to superstardom. And they only did, he portrayed Hung Si Quan 3 times and Fusheng maybe 4 times as Fong Sayuk. But Hung's there and he gets away. He gets injured in the melee. And there's our villains. This is General Cheh, who's quite the jerk. So anyway, Shaolin Monastery is still around. They've rebuilt it. The communists did, and that's where Jet Li studied. But wushu is more of, I don't want to say a performance art, but it's definitely flashier. There's a lot of leaps and things. It's very northern oriented as well with the high kicks because they look good. They look cool. Hungar and Charlie Futt, you do not aim for the head. Well, Charlie Futt has high kicks, northern style, but mostly it's waist high kicks. You don't want to get yourself too off balance and won't be able to correct yourself. So there's Shaolin. Obviously Shaolin's wonderful. Without Shaolin, we wouldn't have kung fu movies, especially. But Chen Quan Tai, he did tons of movies. He worked clean into 2022 as Master Dragon and Legendary in Action. I don't think I've seen most of these, but I've seen a lot of them. I don't care much for Executioners of Shaolin, but that's just me. I know a lot of people love it. He directed the 1977 Iron Monkey. He is in the excellent Crippled Avengers, aka Mortal Kombat, aka Return of the Five Deadly Venoms, a title I've never liked because that implies a sequel, which is, of course, what they were going for. Be that as it may, that's General Cheh there, and he is the villain of the piece. He's the one who, goes after everybody and the mastermind here, except for the douchey. Does it say who General Cheh was? Mu Chu, as Chu Mu, because, yeah. So there's just it's really hard, even with a Blu-ray, to get fight scenes that are in any kind of focus. But they're just wiping out any of the Shaolin men that they can find. And he wants to try his kung fu out, or his martial art, his Tibetan style, on them. And, just really good stuff. It's a great movie. I'm not going to pretend that I don't love it. I also, as you can see, they shot a lot of it outside, which also lends to the way it looks. It's just wonderful. So they manage. Then they go into talking about Fong Sayuk or Fong Shiyu, and this is him getting out of Shaolin. Now they don't talk about him being invulnerable at all in this movie, and it doesn't need it. Oops, what the heck happened there? Stop. I don't know what just happened there. That's not supposed to happen. I apologize. So we're going to stop here. I'll come right back and we're back. I don't know what happened there. So this is where we left off. Fang Shiyu gets out, battles Tiger Li and this is right out of Men from the Monastery. So but he's out. They know he's a Shaolin man, but he's played as very naive here, more so than in the Men from the Monastery or Shaolin Temple, which, no, we'll do Shaolin Temple will be last. Five Masters of Death will be next week. But he's played as very naive and gets tricked by these two. They tell him that they were beat up by Hung Si Quan, and so does where's the other douche? Yi Feng playing Mai Shin, who tricks him because he's naive. But this guy tries to intervene. So the fight scene between these two is great. They had a great chemistry, even just as as friends. This is the villain who's been injured by Hung Zi Quan, his leg. That's why he's on there. Stork style. And then after he defeats Hung Zi Quan, and he's wondering why that he thinks, well, that's odd. Why did he know that was a Shaolin style? Dun dun dun. And they take him to the General Cheh's palace, I suppose, living quarters. And he beats up all the guys, even wounded. He's got a back injury, he's got a leg injury, but he can't handle everybody. And they tie him up, or actually, they chain him to the wall because they want information from him and they heal him, which is kind of dumb. This is our young lady, and I could not find out who this is one bit. I looked in several places. Actually, maybe I should have looked over here. Nope, I don't see it. So, anyway, I'm sorry that I don't know her name, but she is the proprietress of the inn. And when Feng Shiyu comes in, everyone hates him. He doesn't know why. See, there you've got Hung Si Quan chained. He's not chained, he's stapled to the wall, essentially. He's going to be tortured. He wants to kill him, but the general says, no, I want to get him for I want him for information, and I want to try my kung fu against his. So Fong, oblivious to all of what he's done, can't figure out why everyone hates him. He goes to the Shaolin men's secret hideout in plain sight, which is the best place to hide, right? And then he finds out that he's been tricked, and he's kind of devastated by it.
It was the Manchus who destroyed the monastery, killing most of the inhabitants and forcing the survivors to scatter throughout
Guangdong, which is Guangdong now. Yeah. So once he realizes that he wants him to kill him because he feels really bad, but they forgive him, which is good. And this young lady is used as bait because the Manchus are after her, the Manchurians or the Chings, whatever you prefer, are after her because she's cute. And they're like, tell us where she went. Well, she went that way. So they tell her, you've got to be bait and distract these guys so that Saya Shiyu can go rescue Hung Si Quan. And so she does. This is a nice little grappling technique here. When you say kung fu doesn't have grappling techniques, you don't understand. So they do, and he's selling like a champ for Fu Sheng there. And you can see he's not quite as playful as he gets in later movies, but because he's still feeling like a traitor. And they want to know where the girl went, and they follow her into an alleyway and get surrounded by the Shaolin men. And they beat the crap out of him except for this guy. And while they're doing that, Shiyu goes and saves.
It was in this way that the influence of the Shaolin Kung Fu style became even more widespread than hitherto. The most famous of the Shaolin disciples who escaped the bloodshed were Hong Si Quan, Feng Shiyu, and Hu Si Chin,
who we saw in Men from the Monastery. And that what you hear there, the three styles of Hung Fist, was originally broadcast or screened in front of that movie. But it's on the disc for this, and I think it's on the disc, the 4-set disc from Arrow Video. So here he is trying to free him, but then they've got him. They're like 6-inch into the wall there. He's not moving them. So he has a little battle here with General Chen, who's hit him once and is surprised that Shiyu has been able to resist his first blow. And he goes on, but unfortunately, he's no match by himself for General Cheh. Now, this movie does not have training at all. There's no training sequences because that wasn't a thing until Jackie Chan made it popular with probably Snake in the Eagle's Shadow or Drunken Master. Take your pick. And, this is their sign of internal injuries when you're spitting up blood, but not too bad is because Shiyu is a great martial artist and can control it. That was, if you heard that laughter, that was my sainted mother watching the sports ball game on television. And the young lady warns the Shaolin men to leave, and they all know. Then they figure out where, and Shiyu digs a tunnel from the Shaolin headquarters down to the Manchu headquarters, and he's despondent because he can't figure out how to free Hung Si Quan until he finds these, and that's where the brackets are, bracelets. I don't know what you'd call them. The staples. Let's just call them staples. So Chen Quan Tai is Hung Si Quan is far more serious than Feng Shiyu, and that's what makes the combination really work. They could have really paired them up well if they'd have thought about it. Now, he did really well with Ti Lung. Fu Sheng did in many other movies. He was just a good actor, and it's sad that he died in that car accident. He would have been Jackie Chan probably would have rivaled him, I think. So, unbeknownst to our villains, she frees him, loosens up the bolts there, or the handcuffs, or the foot cuffs, and Hugsy Quant. Now they've healed him, so he just beats the crap out of everybody, and there you go. That is a Chung Young Choi, and he gets away. And now they're happy. They've forgiven each other. Well, Hung Si Quan has already forgiven him and called him brother, so now the rest of the Shaolin men will be happier. And they're sweaty and gross and need a bath. So, and anyone who's done martial arts know how sweaty you get in about 15 minutes, especially if you're in Southern California and it's 110 or even 100. As your humble agent, when he tested for his blue sash, had to do a staff for him outside in El Cajon, and it was like 100 degrees. But it's a dry heat. Boo. The villains follow the tunnel and get to the headquarters, which has been emptied, and they've left a message there telling them, "Come meet us, or you will be mocked. Be there or be square." Something like that. Bothers the general so much that he chops it in half. And there you go. So, the final third here of the movie, maybe final 20 minutes, is a battle, and there's a lot of Manchurian men there fighting, and the Red Robe Quartet, which is a couple of the Lau brothers, not Lau Kar Lung, or not Gordon, I don't think, but maybe. It's hard to tell. He's got hair. When he's got hair, he doesn't look like himself. And he did play a villain in a couple of Chang Cheh movies, Marco Polo, aka the Four Assassins. But they do a really good job not killing each other. There's our the three, one, two, three, four, seven main villains. These guys are a little more adept. The general doesn't want to do any fighting because he's a jerk and doesn't want to get hurt. But these are from Tibet or llamas or something. Until he's serious, he's tying up his cue, and the battle begins. So really, I mean, it's just all a bunch of different styles, and because Lao, I want to say Lao Sifu is coordinating it all looks really good. I mean, there's no really high jumps, there's no flashy poses. They kind of missed a couple of shots. Lynn does comment on one where they really could have had Fu Sheng do a crane pose that would have looked really cool, but they weren't thinking about it. And there's their first red, where now usually when they kill somebody, they kill two more of the Manchurians, one of the Shaolin men, because they're just tougher. Look, there's that tiger claw, which just looks great. I mean, he was a good actor. Both of them, everyone in here does a great job. Now Fu Sheng is not the best martial artist. He does all he can. He's better than David Chang, who I think is pretty darn good. He does what he's asked, but he's just not quite where he would be even a couple movies later. But he's good. I mean, there's a shot in here I'll show you, but you can kind of tell when you look at the two of them together. Now the general gets involved, and so it's 2 against 1, and that looks like he's really punching him. Now his hands. I am looking at this as a martial artist now, so you can see that he's not punching him hard, but they do come in contact with each other. The Shaws were known for that, and so was Jackie, that they stung. And there's his crane style against these two losers. He's killed the first red Tibetan guy. See, just he's this guy's got a blade in him, but he's managed to kill one, and he's going to kill that guy. Fu Sheng does a good crane. His crane beak there looks good, and I don't know what style the Tibetans do, the lamas. And this is our leader. The leader of the Shaolin men just died, and he's given the advice to combine the tiger and stork. So everyone probably cheered at this because that was a big deal.
However, Thungan, who died while relatively young, only Hung Si-Quan lived to enjoy old age. It was Hung's Kung Fu, or Hung's style, therefore, that became the most popular style of Kung Fu in Kwantung. The basis of Hung's style rested on the eye-shaped tiger killing technique.
So in the newer one, they call them tiger antics and stork antics. It just makes me laugh. Antics. So here you go. That looks good there. His horse stands a little high, but he's fighting, so no one's going to care. But here's where you can see his cross step is not as, but the hard bow, as we called it, look at this. That's perfect. You wouldn't know if you weren't a martial artist, and that's just why martial artists really shouldn't watch kung fu movies sometimes. I don't care. I mean, it's their intensity, it's the story, it just carries you away. So those are just, but I mean, you can tell that Chen Quan Tai is a true martial art, has been studying it forever. So they kill General Cheh, and off they go. They're the final survivors. There's out of all of the Shaolin men, look at those bodies, and they just leave them. I mean, the body is but an empty vessel because their souls are on the way to Stobelkor. And there they go. And that's our movie. Essentially, they go off. Now, Hung Si-Quan and Fang Shiyu went south. And of course, and they are not wrong. Fu Sheng died early, at least as far as we know. And Hung Si-Quan founded Hungar in Canton. And then the 5 other masters went north. We'll see them next week. And that is the end. Just all these, they just go off. So it's a semi-happy ending. Fu Sheng or Fang Xiyu doesn't get stabbed in the groin like he did, like as we saw in the previous one, and that's it. So then we get into these 3 styles here.
This trading technique.
Now, a lot of breathing there. So you can read the subtitles there, and I'm sorry if you're reading on there. That's the famous Hungar hand gesture, the conquer the center with a single finger. Yes, because the Manchus were in central China, and the Northerners had a different one, which was about the exact opposite. And then we see Fu Sheng doing the tiger and stork antics. Tiger claws and the stork beak. And then it goes to Hu Hui Chen, that's Chi Quan Chun, who would reprise the role as well many times. More tiger antics, dragon antics, and then we just get the credits. Chang Cheh, Lau Kar Lang, and the 3 styles of Hung School's Kung Fu, or Hung Fist, if you will. There's the DVD or the Blu-ray, which I highly recommend. It's probably easy to find. I thought this was the Dragon Dynasty one. Isn't that not the Dragon Dynasty? No. Okay. I don't even know who did really. Well, it's great. Go find it if you want to watch it. Shouldn't be too expensive. But the picture's great. As you can tell, it's got the English dub and the Mandarin language with subtitles. I highly recommend it. So, my fellow agents, my fellow martial artists, my fellow warriors, just practice that horse stance. It is the basis of all your kung fu. So until next time, this is X7 signing off.